Welcome to the Fighting on Film podcast, the podcast all about classic and obscure war movies, from the Normandy landings to the days of chivalry and swords. If it's been captured on film, we're going to try and cover it. I'm Robbie of RM Military History.
I'm Matthew Moss of Historical Firearms and the Armourer's Bench.
Hello, welcome back to Fighting on Film. Now, this week comes as chosen by our fantastic Patreon supporters. We put up a 24-hour vote. We're going to sort of test the waters on a new way of doing the Patreon pick. Your support really helps keep the mics not off HQ, and you can get involved and support the show for as little as £2.50 per month. The choices this week's were 2018's 12 Strong, starring Chris Hemsworth. It seems like no one wants us to cover that. So I'm going to keep putting it up there till it wins. It's become my hornblower. And this week's winner was 2021's Foxhole. Now, I came across this movie a couple of years ago when I was in Morrison's, of all places, and I was checking the DVD aisle. And I saw this movie and it kind of passed me by. And yeah, it's turned up on streaming. It's currently available on Prime in the UK. It might be available in your local location as well. So yeah, and I'll just give you a sort of brief rundown of the synopsis of the film before Matt jumps into casts.
I am here, I promise. I am.
He is here. He hasn't
Rob's
spoken
just in
yet.
full flow. I'm letting him cook.
We never interrupt the intro if we're going. Yes, and this new synopsis thing is Matt's idea, and it makes complete sense because in classic
we've realised
fashion,
after 3 years we've not always told people what the film's about before we launch into this, which is classic us.
Because I just assume people have read the intro or read the name of the show and just known.
You're assuming people have gone and done research before sitting down to enjoy a podcast.
Well, some listeners do. I get listeners telling me saying, I watched the movie twice.
Fair. I don't contest that at all.
No. So this movie, from its website, pitch of it is unfolding over the span of 36 hours in three separate wars: the American Civil War, World War I, and the Iraq War. Foxhole follows a small group of soldiers trapped in a confined space as they grapple with morality, futility, and an increasingly volatile combat situation.
I love the premise. I really do. I think the premise is great. It's one of those things where you think, that could really work. But then, will they pull it off? Well, yeah, we'll see.
Interesting. And are there any foxholes? Ooh.
Oh my God.
There?
Spoilers.
Are not? Ooh. Oh. Matt is wearing a blanket this week.
I am.
Because he's worried about echoing
echo
in his new studio.
I can't speak as loudly as I like.
He looks like
I'm kind of like under a blanket.
Check the FOF Twitter if you're still on it for a picture of that. Anyway, Matt, you're on cast this week.
I am. Starting things off, we've got Motel Glenn Foster, who plays Jackson. He's appeared in Wu-Tang, An American Saga, Blue Bloods, Clickbait, and some other TV work. Then we've got Cody Costro as Clark, who has appeared in Mayor of Eastwood, and a lot of TV and some independent films as well. This is kind of a common thing here. We've got a lot of people that are working in TV, and then we've got a lot of people doing a lot of independent films. So it's a good strong indie cast almost. We've got Angus O'Brien, who plays Conrad. He's been in a couple of episodes of Law and Order, The Blacklist, Hightown. So these are quite, recognizable.
They're accomplished actors.
They're supporting actors, and then some of them are breaking into like small roles. It's quite, it's a cast that's up and coming, and they're jobbing. We've got Alex Hurt as Morton, who has appeared in. I should mention before I move on from Angus O'Brien that next year he's going to be appearing in a new series called The Corps, which is a show about two guys that joined the US Marine Corps, best friends. One of them is gay, and it kind of like follows his journey through.
Is it modern?
Training.
Is it set in a period?
I believe it's modern. I believe it's current day.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Well, it can't be any worse than that Over There series that I watched the other week. I got a box set off. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's
like just underwhelmed, weren't you?
Yeah, one of the FOF fans said it's like NYPD Blue, but if it was about the Iraq War, and that's the best way to describe it. It's weird. It's very FOFable. It's like Generation Kill, but without being good.
Oh yeah, that's definitely kind of fair. Let's do Generation Kill first, though.
Yeah, let's do that first. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we've got Alex Hunt as Morton, and he's appeared in Homeland, Blue Bloods, Grimm, Elementary. So lots and lots of different bits and bobs. And then we've got Alex. I think his name's pronounced as Brio, and he plays the German in the World War One section. He's appearing in 8 episodes of Stranger Things in the next season, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
big gigs.
Big gigs. He's also appeared in Waco, The Aftermath, The Equalizer, and some other US TV as well. And then we've got James LaGrosse, who plays Wilson. He's kind of the older member of the platoon, well, the squad, I should say.
Yeah.
Um,
He's in every single, some of these actors are in every single section, we may add.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
aren't, some are.
exactly. So Alex Hurt's character, Morton, Conrad, Foster, Foster's character, Jackson, they're all kind of like in every one in one
Mm.
way or another. Lacrosse appeared in Born on the 4th of July, Point Break, Enemy of the State with Will Smith, and a lot of TV. He's been working from the early to mid 90s, like right through. So he's been in a lot of different things over the years. And then
Very
finally, we've
recognizable
got
face.
Andy Matachik, and she plays Gail. She's probably some of her biggest appearances have been in the Halloween films. She appeared in
Mm.
Halloween in 2017 and Halloween Kills in 2021. And she's also appeared in a couple of TV things like Blue Bloods and Orange is the New Black. So
Nice.
she's had a couple of interesting roles, and I think really by and large they're all jobbing actors, and they've all been working in TV and independent film, and some of them have started to break through, and some of them have been around for quite a while. So it's
Mm.
a competent cast. Like there's no
Solid.
one in it throughout that I don't believe
No, no,
is
me neither.
pushing for
There's
the
some
role as hard
questionable
as they could.
dialogue here and there,
Yeah, there's
but
some
it's not,
anachronistic like
it's not that bad, you
stuff
know.
like shouting action front during a American Civil War
Yeah, I was like, what?
sequence. I was like, what now?
Yeah,
Anyway,
maybe that was a thing they said. I don't know enough about the
maybe
ACW.
perhaps it was.
So on to production this week. It was directed by Jack Fessenden, who's known for his 2016 horror Stray Bullets. He's quite a young filmmaker, and he directly spoke about the film's themes and how it was drawn from family experiences during shooting in 2019. Because this week we have a movie where the movie's website is still up, so I was able
Oh,
to mine it for
what a
information.
treat!
Amazing. So he said Foxhole was inspired by a story my grandfather told me about his comrades' experiences at the Battle of the Bulge. My grandfather's friend Morton, who was huddled alone in a foxhole at night, taking shelter from artillery, was taking shelter from artillery fire when a German soldier jumped in beside him. Instead of attacking each other, the two men spoke all night and formed a bond and parted ways at dawn. After the war in a grocery store back home, Morton noticed a man following him. He turned to confront him and recognized him instantly. It was the German. He had since moved to America to work as a teacher. He and Morton remained friends for life. As soon as I heard this story, I knew I needed to find a way to tell it. That's how Foxhole began, and it has since become much more.
Wow, what a cool story. And that
I
kind of
know.
thing does happen. Like
Yeah.
most recently in Ukraine, there's that quite famous video of a Russian guy that's like disorientated during a firefight, and he runs straight into a Ukrainian trench position. And he's like,
Yeah,
they're all
no.
like, "What the fuck?" They're all like shouting, "What the fuck?" at each other, and then the
Yeah.
guy just like bounds out and runs back to his own position.
Wow.
It's an
Incredible.
insane video. You wouldn't believe it
Mm.
if someone told you, but now head cams, you can see it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame they didn't do the Bulge storyline in this.
Hmm.
Because that would have
I
made me. I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
there's a
wondered why
reason.
they wanted to skip World War Two. I mean,
Maybe it's
they've
because it'd been
consciously
done.
chosen three, very distinct conflicts, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Maybe they felt like it had been done. Maybe
Hmm,
they felt the First World War was less sort of known. Maybe they thought,
maybe.
in
Yeah.
terms of US involvement, I mean, there are quite a few movies on World War One
Well, I mean,
soldiers,
we'll talk about it in a
US
minute, but there's
soldiers.
some quite stark stylistic choices for the World War One section. So
There
maybe
is.
they really wanted to do those stylistic choices.
Yeah, there definitely is. Yeah, so getting back to production, Fassenden also acted as the film's editor and he did the score.
He
Colin
did.
Brazzi did the cinematography. His work includes as an Emmy Award-winning advertisement for the Travel Bureau of New York City, an Emmy Award-winning web shows, and his feature work includes Just One Kiss and the documentary Back Home with the Bradys, all about the Brady Bunch. Um,
Wow.
which I know nothing about. Um, Filmed over a 16-day shoot in 2019 in New York. I think that might be New York State, not the city. And I couldn't find a locale for the rest of the shoot because it's an indie film and there just isn't the information out there. I did look. Um,
Yeah, the IMDb page is blessed
it's
with the
slim.
single factoid that in the American Civil War, they didn't have foxholes.
No, they're in a trench.
Uh, brilliant
But it's
factoid,
fine.
which
It's
may
just
or
the
may
name of
not
the
be
movie.
correct.
You know,
And fun fact: are there any foxholes in this film? Don't think there are.
not really. They were shell holes,
Yeah,
but there
there's a
aren't
trench.
foxholes. I'd have
There's a
called it
Humvee.
entrenched, but it's just me.
Mm,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
or dug in or something.
That dug in's good.
Dug
Yeah.
in's good. Then it doesn't explain the Humvee, does it?
Neither does foxhole though.
No, it doesn't. It's just a name. It's fine. It's just a name. You
Let's not
know,
get hung up.
let's not get hung up. No, 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 no. You know, the Hard Rock Cafe says it's some of the best American food outside America. It definitely isn't. So, we can forgive this
Oh
movie.
my God, I'm gonna get sued for
Oh,
defamation.
Sodom. I don't care. It's a personal opinion. It's fine. My views do not respect the views of Final Film Corporation. Anyway, so this is, as we say, it's an indie film. So there's a micro budget, no exact budget given. I can't imagine it would over a mil. The way they were talking in some of the the pre-production talking, they were talking about having a small budget, things like that.
Yeah,
And it
for sure.
premiered at the Oldenburg International Film Festival in 2021. It's later picked up by distribution by Samuel Goldwyn Films, and it was released in May the 13th, 2022 in the US. Over here, I think it's, as I said at the top of the show, it's been available on DVD from around that time. I seem to think it was 2022 when I saw it. And yeah, you can watch it freely now on Prime Video in the UK, and it can be rented on YouTube as well. So the retro review, after having a couple of weeks break, is back, and this comes from the Hollywood Reporter in 2021, and they said, Foxhole marks a second feature so far by filmmaker barely out of his teens. Jack Fessenden wears many hats, most of them very well, teaming with a fine cast to deliver a war film where happy endings may be imagined, but bloody ones are never in doubt. Fessenden directs and edits tense dialogue sequences with skill, a film that almost entirely rises to the heights of its ambitions. Foxhole cares about the individuals tasked with fighting in the hours that challenge them most.
Did you manage to find out how old he was when he made this?
I think he was like a 30 something, early
I don't.
30s.
He looks very young in a lot
I
of the
know.
behind the scenes photos I came across.
Maybe he's like me, he's
So,
just blessed with a young face.
well, indeed. I mean, perhaps it's just he's just extremely talented in terms of being able to manage all of these things. Because in terms of this, he's done the direction, he's worked on the score, he's worked on producing it. So that's an awful lot to cover. He's written the theme tune,
Well, it helps keeps costs down as well, doesn't it? If
sung
you're
the
on a
theme
micro
tune.
budget.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, it's significant.
No, it is. And the one word reviews are back again, where they've sort of had a week off or two. So we asked a question, obviously, what's your one word review? And the FOF fans came in abound. Paul Burns says Quantum Leap-ish. Brian Williams goes with Eternal. Paul Hicks says Intrigued. Ian Miles says I've not seen it, or one word. Stephen O'Neill says Disappointing. JD finishes this week off with Meh. It's a mixed bag there.
Yeah.
A mixed bag indeed. Interesting. Maybe we should move on to this week's Alley Tally.
This is 5 to Alpha. Contact now. The grid. 852-676. Approximately 4 tanks and 10 APCs moving directly towards the wood. I'm observing, over.
Hello, Sunray. Fighting on Film has partnered up with warfaremedia.net to give our listeners exclusive discounts on a range of high-resolution Cold War adverts, propaganda, and recruitment posters. From blowpipes to nuclear threats to weapon schematics, Warfare Media has you covered. Visit warfaremedia.net today and use the code FOF20 at checkout for 20% off high-quality Cold War posters. I repeat, FOF20 at checkout. Over.
Roger, out to you and take action now. Send us SITREP as soon as possible. Over.
It's time for Alley Tally on Fighting on Film.
I think the alley tally is one of the strongest elements of this.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of alley. There's three whole wars of alley, or
Yeah, I
that
know.
battles of alley in this, which is rare.
Ambitious. Mm.
It very much is. So I kind of chunked up my alley. So should we go in sections?
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, great. I like when we do hive mind. We do that a lot.
We do.
So American Civil War. I mean, I'll admit, I know nothing about it. Some blokes in Navy, there's some blokes in Grey, and they don't quite get along.
That's about it. Ken Burns, thank you.
That no problem.
The in terms of alley for me this week for this period, we've got a Colt 1851 Navy.
Yep.
A
Navy. I thought it was an army one.
It's a Navy because I paused it and the trunnion of the barrel where it meets the cylinder is squared off rather than rounded.
I shouldn't have
That's
asked.
the way
Really,
to
I should have
tell.
just agreed.
Yeah, you should
Never try and out-weapon the weapon man over
No,
here.
no. This is why I'm here to just be
It's your job.
just
Literally
be
your
really
job.
anal with the details.
I feel like Matt goes to bat for his profession every week on the show. It's pretty funny.
What else
I
about?
do know about guns. I do. I'm not pretending. There's a trunnion. I'm like, what if I'm thinking, what the hell's a trunnion? I just agree. The gun's got onions on it. What's he talking about?
There's a Patton 1851 Enfield, which is I believe the second most common rifle of the war used by both sides.
Right.
And then Morton has what I think is a Model 1841, US Model 1841 rifle, but it's got a different front end cap where the barrel band is.
Could just be a prop. Could be a prop, armorer's prop.
It might be. It might just be something I'm not familiar with, which is
because I heavily get the feeling from watching scenes that no live firing or even blank firing weapons were on set at any one point.
I reckon that might be true.
Essentially because there are no bolts going when you see M16s firing, and I was like, I saw, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that because we know after Rust and during it, the whole sort of way that movies approach firearms have changed.
So it's pre-Rust though, isn't it?
It's pre-Rust, but I'm just using it as an example for the listeners that a lot of shoots now are going over to either realistic firearms or airsoft versions. Maybe gas blowback. We had it with the Covenant. That famously didn't have any live guns on set. So it's not a criticism of a movie. I will never say, oh, well, that movie didn't have real shooting guns. So it doesn't bother me
massively break the immersion of the film.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because they're props essentially.
Although I do think blank firing on movies does look better.
Yeah, it does. But it keeps costs
I'm
low.
never going to say he should have been done with BB guns, airsoft. Just shouldn't.
Can we go back and do it with it? Be brilliant.
I'll happily do that. Anyway,
do that.
What about World War One? In terms of uniform, before we move on, I think it looks pretty solid. But again, definitely not a period I'm fully an expert in terms of kit, but it looks pretty good.
I knew some American Civil War reenactors, and from what I can remember from osmosis, it looked good to me. They got kepis on, they got the grey shirts, they got the Union boys look right to me. So yeah, it was good. It was fine. World War One, the doughboy uniforms, really good. Nice little mixture of webbing there, some with rifle belts, some with the full M19. I think it's M19, 17 pattern webbing, 16 pattern webbing. I can't remember. It might be 1890s pattern webbing for World War One US troops. I could be wrong. But no, it looks all fine to me. Again, they've got Springfields, Brody helmets. They're doughboys, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got the M1917 respirators on at the very beginning. They kind of both pop out of one of the shell holes, and
I thought
that's
that was
a copy of the
homage to a picture. The picture of the two machine gunners.
There's certain bits of this where you think, that I can see there's a bit of a
little homage,
artistic lineage to that. Yeah,
there's a homage to, I think, to the start of the Big Red One with the horse.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I really
burning
thought
tree
that was
as well. I felt like the burning tree was a visual touchstone. One of the guys at the end actually has a Gewehr 98 in the trench hole when you see them firing. air quotes.
Yeah.
You can see the muzzle, you can see the bayonet bar that's just jutting out in the
Yeah, it's
rear
nice.
sights in
No
in the wrong
bayonets.
spot.
No bayonets. But I thought we were going to see some bayonet action, but we didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like the the German guys that kind of attack them, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, they they could have had bayonets,
Maybe it would be nice, but it's not. It's not a real big
but
criticism.
it's not essential, is it? Like
No, I mean, in terms of Ali for the World War One section, they're wire laying. They're a wire laying party,
that's
which
really cool, actually. Yeah,
really don't see in World War One films at all, really.
no,
And wire laying and going out and re-putting in the wire and batting in the posts is a really common World War One task.
mm,
A lot of guys doing it. I would have liked them to see maybe like deadening the sound with a sandbag or something like that. But it's absolutely fine. I'm not gonna trash this one because it's not. That's not the point of
I
this
think
movie.
that's quintessential of this film. There's a lot of like attention and care that's gone into it, but then there's places where they've not quite nailed the authenticity or
There's
accuracy of
little
it.
things. There's little things.
Not that that kind of like really saps the film. It's just that is just something that I kind of like
Yeah.
noticed throughout the whole like all the periods.
I think it shows up in the First War section because they're moving more. That they're moving a lot
Perhaps so.
more.
Mm.
They get out of their trench and move a little bit more. And then I think the nature of the ACW parts, because they're in just in America at that point, it's a wood, it's a battlefield, like it's okay. Um, and then the Iraq, I think the Iraq War sections are fine as well in locale terms. So yeah, no, talking about Iraq 2004, you've got them in their later desert camo. The US Army moved away from chop chip camo that you see on Desert Storm. They're in a different, I think it's called seven color desert pattern uniform. I can't exactly remember the exact name. But then they're wearing M81 advanced load bearing vests in the advanced configuration with these slanted pouches, not the straight pouches from the earlier
Mm.
90s.
Okay.
Little tidbit for you there, guys.
In
If you're
Woodland as
into your
well. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Woodland, yeah, that's a cool little thing because we're
Hmm.
still seeing load bearing equipment and certain pieces of equipment still in Woodland camo in this early war phase. Later on in the war, we see a lot more desert stuff coming through. That's really nice. Um, and yeah, and in terms of weaponry, you've got M4s and an M16A2, which is always nice to see.
Yeah. I assume it's an M4A1 because it's full auto. The M16A2 has an ACOG,
Yeah,
Chichikon ACOG sight. But then in the final sequence where they're running outside the Humvee, it's got like a older Colt 4 power.
yeah, I noticed that.
That's
That was
swapped
interesting.
out. So it's a different rifle. And then the M4s, they all have EOTech.
That's nice. It's a nice touch.
The big chunky EOTechs from
Yeah.
the early
Because
GWAT
these
period,
guys
which
are
are like
Marine Corps at this point.
yeah.
And I think the World War One guys are Marine Corps because on one of his Brodies he had a Marine Corps painted on the
Yeah,
Brody.
I think so. I think so.
Mm.
It was difficult to make out, wasn't it? But yeah. I did notice that the battery latch flies up on, I think it's Conrad's M4
Oh,
at
really?
the end when they're firing it.
Oh, I didn't notice.
It's like it kicks up. So I
Oh,
wonder
that's
whether
cool.
they did some blank fire
Maybe.
because when they're outside of it, because there's no way you would like animate the battery
No.
latch
Yeah.
flying up and down on a EOTech 553 just for
No, you're right.
for fun.
And I like it when Gail whips out her Beretta M9 and passes it to the medic when they know they're going to get
I wondered
contact.
why. Yeah, I wondered why she did that. I wonder why the corpsman wasn't armed because I know that they didn't have to be armed, but a lot of them were armed. And I did actually, I mean, caveating off that, I appreciate that they've shown the nuance that not all corpsmen were, carried a weapon at that point. But I like the fact that they showed that the corpsman was carrying a full load out of eight fully loaded magazines, knowing full well it wasn't for him; it was for him to
It's for his
hand out.
mates. Yeah, no, it was nice. And I think the other part of the alley for me in that sequence is the interior of the Humvee. It feels lived in.
It does.
You've got
Very good
bottles
mise
of
en
like
scène.
Gatorade, empty fags, loads of
Little
rounds
boombox,
spent.
CD boombox.
He gets that like a little baggie of like
Yeah.
CDs, and he's trying to like fix the CD player. It's cool. It really feels that's the part of the movie that feels more lived in for me. It feels more real.
Feels
And it's
authentic, doesn't it?
does feel really authentic. Yeah, I think the differences in the characters in that sequence. You've got young, sort of maybe in a bit longer, kind of the Corman. I assume has been in maybe since the early 90s because he's older. You've got
Yeah.
a nice mix of young and old, and that you have the female character Gail, and you have the black sergeant. And I think it, in its own way, that sequence shows how far the U.S. military has come at this point.
Mm.
Um, because I think the movie has themes of interracial sort of tension in the American Civil War period and the First World War period.
Yeah.
But then I think by the Iraq sections, it's obviously we've shifted well away from that. We have US Army integration in the 50s, late 40s, sorry. And it, without maybe even noticing it, it kind of shows it for me. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, it doesn't lean into it too heavily. It's
No,
kind
it
of
doesn't.
doesn't, imply it in an inorganic way. And I like the
No.
fact that it kind of has those elements throughout all three periods.
Mm,
It bookends nicely.
it does. Mm. No, massively. I think and it's quite a short and sweet alley tally this week because it's a quite kind of a short and sweet movie because you're not really with some of these sections for too long. Um,
No, talk about that, I think, next.
yeah, so we're on to favourite scenes.
Hello there, sorry to interrupt. I wanted to let you know that you can now join our supporting cast over on Patreon. As thanks for your support, you'll be able to help us pick films, submit questions for guests, have first pick on brand new and exclusive merch, and much more. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show. I personally really liked the scene in the Humvee when they make first contact, where I think they either get hit by an RPG or they hit a mine.
Yeah, they hit a mine, I
And
think,
yeah,
or an
and
IED.
the Wilson, who's playing the corpsman at that point, Conrad has like a small like cut on his side of his face. The corpsman's got his leg jammed by a fallen like canister of 50 caliber ammunition
Ammo
that's
box,
fallen
yeah.
on him, and it's like jammed his leg in, and he can't move, and it's like banged his wrist, so he can't move his wrist either. So he's there, like calmly, just cleaning a wound and applying like one-handed, applying the like the little tape bandage.
Stereo
And
strip thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I really liked that because I've worked with and met a few U.S. Marine Corps corpsmen, and spoken to a lot of friends that were in the Marine Corps, and they always talk about corpsmen, the docs, as being like really like fatherly. Like they can be the exact same age, but they'll immediately look after everyone. Like they take
They
their
give a
jobs
shit,
very,
essentially.
very seriously.
Yeah.
So like I love the little hints of like he knows his leg is like crammed
Busted
in
up.
there. Yeah. But he's still seen to everyone else first, no matter how insignificant the wound was.
Yeah. Because
He's
they keep
been
asking
calming.
him if he can get his leg out.
Yeah.
He goes, well, we can't move that because if I start to bleed too much, I'll pass out. And
Yeah.
then they talk to him more and he goes, let me deal with that. And it kind of
exactly.
shuts everyone up.
So
He's strong,
that
strong
element,
sequence.
and the fact that he's carrying like a full load out when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Nice little details for that
No, I
kind
really
of
liked
character.
it. For me, it's my favorite scene is in the same Iraq War sequence. So when the sergeant and Gale get out to go and try and seize the RPG because they think either they've only got the insurgents outside only have one of them and they're going to get it and then blow them up, or they need to go and get it because they might need it. So they leave, and then as
It was
they
a bit
leave,
vague that bit. I didn't quite know what was going on there.
I think you're not meant to because they don't know what's going on. You're meant to feel as confused as the people in the Hummer. I assumed.
I think so. That makes
Because
sense.
I kind of feel like this is their first contact anyway. Because the way they all change the minute they get fired upon, they go from being like these bravado-y kind of, "Whoa, I'm going to fuck shit up, man. I'm going to get some contact," like that young kid. And then the minute he gets going, "Oh, what's out there? Oh my god!" Like he changes anyway. So when they leave, there's this really nice 360 panning shot of the interior of the Hummer, and you've got rounds falling down from the 50, from the top gunner position. You've got guys leaning out taking shots, but you get to see the entirety of the space, and I really like that. It showed like how long they've been in it. It's got sand everywhere, as I said in the alley tally. You got bottles everywhere, and chipped out cigarettes and everything else. I just really liked that shot. I thought it was really cinematic. It gave the closed inness of the space, and I didn't get that from the rest of the movie. Like, and I felt like that was maybe what the movie was trying to do all along, but it couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it reminded me of when we talked a couple of weeks ago when I had that idea for Journey's End in a Warrior on Operation
Mhm.
Granby. That's the kind of atmosphericness that something like that needs. And I think it really made you feel penned in. I kind of wish the movie was that section, like, because it was the strongest element of it, to me at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah,
But no, I
arguably.
thought a really great sequence. Really, really good. And I think we are going to speed into final thoughts quite quickly this week. Because I think we just will start jumping in. I think what's meant to be the movie's strength in the three sections is also the movie's detriment, because you don't spend enough time on the ACW parts, and you're maybe on that for 20 minutes, and then you're right into the World War One section. That maybe takes half hour, and then you're kind of in the hum until the end, give or take a few little sequences. And I felt myself going, okay, what's happening back in the Great War? What's happening back in the, I was almost expecting like a character to go, oh my God, this reminds me of when my granddad was like in that trench.
I'm glad
I
they didn't do that.
I'm really glad they didn't, but I was waiting for it. Is it bad to say that? I was kind of waiting for them to like shoot back.
I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you
It's
mean.
really hard to explain. Like, it's nothing is as coherent in the movie as that Iraq War section. For me,
I got very big Generation Kill vibes. I got like this as soon as that section began, you could tell that, I don't know, I just got the feeling that the director was a fan of Generation Kill and really liked the sections where they're on the move. And I think it kind of worked. And the thing is, I think there isn't a satisfactory sort of conclusion to all the stories.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of doesn't stick the landing, basically.
No.
So with the I did like that the stories are all slightly different. So like in the American Civil War section, you've got one reluctant soldier, one quite moral soldier that's willing to take a wounded black soldier, which obviously is discussed in depth in the trench, back to an A post. And then in the First World War section, you've got the wire party, and then a German drops into the trench, which is kind of a bit like it's like a spin on the All Quiet on the Western Front scene.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that is
and then
very
they have
reminiscent of it.
The whole
Sorry,
do we kill him, don't we kill him thing going on, and I thought Morton's death in that sequence was very good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought that was it. That was not what I was expecting to occur. But I think that the way they told that was really good, and the way it was shot was really good, because I think the cinematography in this is one of the strongest parts, and you can tell that the director is a cinematographer, because he's obviously closely worked with the cinematographer to get these shots.
Yeah, they are great.
He's throwing everything at this. He's got like mini crane shots going on. He's got like hands. He's got like Dutch angles going. He's got really nice, like when the German soldier's talking, it does that very 1930s thing of pulling out of a close up.
Yeah,
there's all these like little
nods,
visual,
little cinematic
nods to past style.
Yeah, and because that
especially
sequence
with that
shot,
World War One sequence,
it's black and white.
It feels like Journey's End, or Stormtrooping, or the original
1930s All Quiet. Yeah, it does feel a lot like that. But then because they'd done that for the First World War section, it kind of made me think, well, why didn't you do the ACW part in sepia? Or
maybe they tried that, and it just looked a little bit too cliched.
Like it could, maybe it could have. Yeah, no, I do agree with you there.
Because the grading on it is good.
Mm,
They've kind of gone for that, like
yeah.
Gettysburg
Yeah. It
um,
almost makes me wish that there was
grading.
a Grenada part, Operation
Mm,
Urgent Fury, and that was filmed like to make it look like it was VHS footage or
that'd be cool.
something.
I'd like
You
that.
know,
Yeah,
like there's other ways there's other things you could do for this movie to
sure.
sort of put in more. But then I think, yeah, that is the kind of downfall of the movie because you don't spend enough time with the ACW guys. You kind of don't spend enough time with the First World War guys, and then they're all kind of being attacked at the same point.
Mm,
But I felt like I had more, to quote a character, to quote a piece of dialogue from the movie, I had more skin in the game for the characters in the Iraq War section because we'd been with them longer, and they
yeah,
talked about home and family, and there's one character saying, "Oh, if it doesn't work out with your husband, it doesn't work out with my girlfriend. We should go on a trip together. We should make a pact." And thought that was quite cute dialogue. Um, yeah, I just felt like it kind of isn't coherent enough. It felt like it's like an anthology movie, but I didn't feel like we got a conclusion to everything because I don't kind of felt like maybe the point of it is there isn't a conclusion. Sometimes everyone gets killed, and that's just
mm,
war, and that's absolutely fine. But as a film viewer, I was kind of left. Sometimes you see me go, "Oh, is that the end?"
mm,
Oh, you're just disappointed because everyone's dead, and obviously
yeah.
that is the great thing about the genre; it can make you think. Um, but
Well,
yeah,
that's
but
what the
then
film's reaching for. It's reaching for those moral questions, isn't it? There's a voiceover by Ross, and
mm,
he talks about, what are we fighting for? He's always that kind of the voice of reason
mm,
in each segment.
moral old ahead, yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then you have the
So
sections where you cut back to there's a letter being read by one of the sort of girlfriends or wives of a character, and I assume it was the American Civil War
yeah,
section. I
yeah, because
think
Morton turns up at the end and he's like walking up towards her,
that's
doesn't he?
it. But then he meets the German in the shop.
That's Wilson. Yeah,
So that's Wilson. Sorry, no, you were right. No, it's getting confused there. No, and then you have Wilson with the German in the shop, which is obviously now we know it's meant to be the bulge,
yeah,
that thing
riffing
where
on that. Yeah, totally.
Fassenden's granddad. But after hearing that, I kind of like, well, your movie could have been that. You could have had that as your movie. Like,
I think if you pulled all of, if you'd gone to the full extent of each segment, you could do a short or a full movie on all three. Sorry.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I just think the Gulf War, Iraq War, sorry, segment was the longest, so it had the most room to breathe almost.
that's my point of it. And it felt the most atmospheric. It was the most penned in. You knew if these characters got out of the Humvee, they're kind of toast because there's no cover around. It's flat plain. They were on a convoy. They got lost. Um, and it does feel like a
I like
kind of
that. It's subtle, like it's showing her like trying to read the map and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And I think Wilson's like, no, we're 2 hours away, and he's like, we were 2 hours away, an hour away,
mm,
that kind of
mm.
thing. So it's like it's little subtle things within the dialogue that really do convey a story quite well,
No,
actually, at
it
times.
does. But I just at the end, I kind of felt a bit empty, a bit like I didn't really feel like it all kind of came together. But
I think if we'd had a more cathartic kind of like physical action climax for each of the
mm,
sequences, because I really like that shot of the Confederates charging out of the mist
yeah, I like that too.
towards that, and Morton firing and then Wilson firing, and that was good. But I didn't understand, like, what's the end for them, because we never
Mm,
see it. We see
no,
Morton arrive home at his girlfriend like 10, 15 minutes earlier, and we're like, okay, well, that's out of sequence, so that's a bit confusing.
mm,
Doesn't, you know, it's not a terrible cinematic choice, filmmaking choice, but it kind of
no,
does make you go, what's the lineage? What's the progression here of these? Does he survive this
yeah,
encounter with the on-charging Confederates? But we don't find out. And then you've got the kind of the one that annoyed me the most was the way it was shot was the World War One sequence where you see the two Germans coming through. They're like a raiding party that the German that they capture warns them about,
yeah,
and there's four of them in a shell crater
shell scrape,
ready,
yeah,
and they all rise up, and it's like, oh wow, that's a nice shot. Like they all rise up one after another, and they're firing and stuff. And it's two Germans, You see just two Germans, and they fire, and then as soon as they fire, they all start working the bolts, and the two Germans just like run up to the limb of the crater and like take them
Yeah, they
prisoner.
give up really
And you're
easily.
like,
Yeah.
what is that? What? So that implies that Wilson, that meets the German in the shop years
Got
later, was
away.
captured,
Or got away.
was
Or
released
something.
later, or got away. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
kind of like it made too many questions for me, that area, because I was like, well, there's four of you and there's two of them, and you can't tell me you didn't hit them because they were like really on top of you.
yeah.
You know, you sometimes in sequences in movies where you're losing sort of your grasp on a
I
coherent.
know that bit was shot on a soundstage, and they didn't have a great deal of space to work
Maybe,
with.
yeah,
Clearly.
maybe.
But at the same time,
Make it look like more guys or something, or or just have them run off screen. Something, have them leave or something. It's just I don't know how you end that.
it
And I
does. It
think
just
that's
in the whole, it just feels a little bit muddled, and it doesn't stick the landing, like I said earlier.
yeah.
I think there's elements of this that are brilliant, and I love the cinematography. I love the World War One stylistic choice of the soundstage and the flat black kind of
really
horizon.
good.
Looks
Yeah.
really cool. It's a really striking visual choice. There's a lot of attention to detail, and a lot of love has gone into this, clearly. And for a low budget film, they achieve a lot.
No, I would definitely say it's worth a look. I would say, but just because of the premise and the stylistic choices, I just don't know if it. I'm like you this week. I don't know if it all pulls together. And I think we'll leave it there this week. If you've got anything more to add.
No, I think that's us.
No, brilliant. So on to this week's large question, which is back after a week as well. You could tell I was away, couldn't you? All these features being dropped. Anyway, so I put out an extremely late large question. You're taking your favourite war movie character out for dinner. Who is it and where you're going? Much like Alan Partridge's bank holiday question, where you going and who's with ya? And this week, we have Nicola Hurry says Colonel Alan Faulkner, the East India Club, although we'll probably never be allowed in again.
Yeah, you'll never be allowed back in.
Never be allowed back in. Never be allowed in. AD Bond goes, Keira Knightley from Atonement and mind your own business. Winky face. We'll leave you to that. We'll leave you to it, AD. My Left Paw says Oddball and somewhere that doesn't serve a hero sandwich. Very good. Paul Burns says Napoleon, glass of wine whilst he's in exile on Elbra. Quiet word in his ear that he might just be better off staying on the island, forgetting all this war stuff, as it might not play out the way he thinks. Martin Wincup puts the gif of John Mills' neck in a Carly B in Ice Cold and Alex and puts never mind the meal. Book Can says Harry breaking a rant at night over a campfire out in the wilderness. In the film, when it suggested he escape and go see the world, he said no, he had seen it. Now that sounds like a great topic of conversation. And then we'll end this week with Brian Weaver, who shows Robert Shaw's character from Battle of Britain. And he puts him for a steak and a banana daiquiri. Fantastic. So yeah, who you're taking out for dinner? Where are you taking him?
Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon, and he's taking me out for a pork chop because he likes his meals.
Amazing. I'm taking Bennett out for some snorkers.
Oh yeah, of course.
Goodo.
Jack Hawkins from Zulu as the missionary, and it's a liquid lunch.
Yeah,
and then, but he's not driving. He's not driving back.
No. And he would say,
"I'll make sure we have a designated carriage."
Yeah, oh yeah. And then he would say to you, "We're all going to dine."
Oh, it's almost like I set you up for that.
Amazing. I'm just quick on the draw like that. And that was this week's Fighting on Film, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. We've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. As always, our talk at the Battle of Britain Bunker is coming up on the 7th of December. And me and Matt maybe have a screening or two coming up.
Yes.
More on that soon. We've got a new movie coming out. And you might know what it is if you've seen any adverts for it. I can't say much because we're under a little bit of an agreement with the people. So when that drops, you'll know. Stay tuned on FOF, folks, and we'll catch you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.